Hello, everyone. It is the Tribe Redefine. Oh, I don't know why I was about to mute myself. It is the Tribe Redefine. That would be a stupid call. Call for October 7th. It is the first official Monday of October. I've got some multi-level marketing strategies for us today. I dug into some Instagram stuff and some just multi-level marketing practices in general from other companies and from Multi-Level Marketing Pro. I just tried to come up with some content that maybe wouldn't be on Beachbody Champions page or wouldn't be in a podcast you've all listened to try to find something fresh and something new. I have a tool that I think is kind of neat because I need to update my hashtags. And I also know that sometimes the specific photo-specific hashtags work, so I wanted to show you something with that and do a really quick memory jogger. One that's going to help us expand our network perhaps in general, and also another that's going to help us to maybe dial into a list for the work. It's very relevant or very much related to what we talked about with the work last week, so you probably did this on your own. I'm going to save that to the last piece. So in case you've already dialed in the work market, whether you're doing the work or not, you can tune me out when we get to that part. So let's see here. Yeah, I don't know what's happening up there. It's very crazy. So we're just going to ignore it. All right. So Heather's got stuff going on too. It's all part of our life here. I didn't even, Jackie was like, just read Coach Office. I didn't even read Coach Office because when I tried to go on it, it was messing up my Zoom, to see what was new and what was updated. But I know that there are still some different promos with the work. And it is our Beat Your Best month. So everybody should have received their numbers. Did everyone get their numbers? Not that I'm thinking about it. I don't know if I got, oh, yes, I did. Yes, we did. So it's volume and Success Club. I had to think about that for a second. So try to be tracking your stuff. I am far from it, so I'm going to really need to hustle. I feel like I'm in follow-up mode, and I don't know what's going on. But I need to set a deadline and get to work, pun intended. And hopefully these tips will help us shake off some of the rust and find what's going to work for us. I'll start off with the 9 tips that I gleaned from a couple different sources that'll help you with your network marketing in general. And I'll explain how I see them relevant to us in particular. So the first one is that we have to always know our target market. And I want us to think of this in 2 ways. And I think it's the work that's really proven this to me. And again, I related this in our call last week, but it's just something to keep in mind. We have our avatar. We have our niche market. We have those people we are always talking to. But then we also need to make sure we have a dialed in list of people that are relevant to the products and services that are available to everybody. So for right now, that is the work, that is somebody, a specific type of person. Maybe it's a current customer of yours that's ready for that next step, or maybe it's a completely different type of customer. That doesn't mean that your posting should change. Your target market on your general Instagram feed, on your general Facebook, should remain very much dialed into your niche market, to your avatar. But it's also important to be behind the scenes or in your stories or the occasional comment to be dialing into something more targeted and more specific that maybe isn't exactly who you're usually talking about. So just identify those 2 markets, but don't make your Instagram feed be a mismatch. People will get really confused. The next one, everybody says this on the National Wake Up Call on every Beachbody Champions training, that we really need to have our why established, but to remember that it's also a multi-layered why. So you should understand the why that got you started. You should understand your financial why. You should understand your family why. You should understand your leadership why, your freedom why, all of the whys for fitness, the whys for nutrition, the whys for building a team. There are so many different reasons that we got involved in this business, why we joined our first challenge group, while we tried that new program. All of those whys are necessary to understand. And it's usually in our conversations with those and in our posting about those that people see our message. So when you establish your different whys, it'll also give you a different way to post. So it's not just like, I got started because of Kellen. I got started because of Kellen. I got started because of Kellen. But I got started because of Kellen. And then I realized I was missing myself. And then I realized I was missing leadership. And then I realized my nutrition was like too bad. I was eating nothing, and that's not good. And, all of those different whys and different posts at different times. So understanding your why is established and multi-level. The third tip is that our multi-level marketing professionals should not be, and I saw this in a couple of sources, should not be chasing our family and friends and making them feel, like we are just family and friends on social media for our products. And that's a couple of ways that we can make sure we're not doing that. Make sure we're interacting with their Facebook posts as well. Make sure we're interacting with their Instagram posts as well. I know you guys are good at this. And so many of our connection building exercises in our challenge groups, in our action hours work on this. But I want you to make sure that when you're doing that and you're scrolling through stories, or you're in that space where you're just loving on people's posts, don't just focus on the potential customers. Focus on your friends and family as well, because it will benefit you in multiple ways. Number one, it'll continue to remind these people that they matter to you and that you're not just on social media for business. Number two, in a more business-minded way, when you interact with your friends and family's posts, people who you may not expect to be a customer, who may be already a customer, other people are seeing that and you're bumping into their feed as well. So I think that for some of us, not all of us, or for more seasons of our business, we kind of focus in on the potential customer, the potential coach. We don't want to bug our family and friends, so we ignore them completely, which isn't the way we should do it. We should make sure we're continuing to send them love, continuing to love on all the pictures of their cute kids, whatever it is. Number four, make sure that you are a master of time, and to make sure that when you do this, you find what works for you. I love that Heather shared the Slay the Day worksheet the other day. I know some of us really love the Success Club system. Some of us like our Rise Up planner. Some of us like our notebook and pen. I am still a notebook and pen girl when it comes to tracking my invites. If I could pick it up, it was not wanting to come up. And I've got like my people all segmented and I know what everything means, and this works for me. You need to find what works for you that'll help you balance your time. I also have reminders still that go off in my phone that tell me right now is a chance for me to check in with my challenge group, or right now is a chance for me to send those follow-ups, so that when I don't have that dedicated power hour, my time is being managed. And if there's a struggle you're having in any of these capacities, make sure you contact your upline, you contact me, and we can find areas where it's not working for you or what you can do differently. Because sometimes we think we're working and we're mastering our time, but we're really doing our activities that are wasting our time. So just look at it that way. Make sure we're continuing, this is tip number 5, make sure we're continuing to educate ourselves to stay on top of all kinds of personal development and business development. It's really important as a leader, or just as a woman, as someone who's growing, to both focus on personal and business development at the same time. Or within a week, maybe on Mondays you focus on one, on Tuesdays you read from another, on Wednesdays you do a different, but you want to make sure that you're giving yourself both of those fuels. I tend to go all business heavy in my podcast listening to and in my books, and then that's when I'm starting to get my anxiety, rising through the top. When I balance out my education, when I look at podcasts and books and articles that are helping me as a parent and as a teacher, as well as a business leader, as well as confident on social media, whatever it is. When I'm doing both, I am definitely more balanced. I'm definitely more myself, and I have more content to share. So make sure that you're doing that. All right, let's see here. I scrolled to the wrong thing. Excuse me. Make sure that you are active on social media every single day. Which power hour was it yesterday? Was it the one we did yesterday, Teresa? I think so. The girl that was saying how when she started sharing more times a day, just like Amy Bailey, or who used to be Amy Rada, did, that it really improved her social media. And it was funny because when I was at NLC, Amy Rada gets up there and she said how she posts 5-6 times a day on her social media. And Keisha Fitzgerald goes up there and she's like, I post once or twice a day. And, Maura Casaba's like, I like 2 to 3 times a day. You just got to find your thing, but you have to be present at least once a day on social media in an actual post, and you have to be present in your stories. That's a duh. We all know that, but make sure you're doing that. And if you've done the tips 1 through 5 so far, if you're loving on your friends and family, if you're learning and growing, finding things to share, if you've got all your different whys, there should always be something to post about. Even if on your story is loving on those friends and family and saying, oh my God, it's my cousin Susie's birthday. Happy birthday, Susie. Love you. Just something like that to keep yourself human and to keep yourself present and to spread out your stories. You all know that. I don't have to say that, but it's just so smart, because then you get moved to the beginning of the line there. Okay, Whatever consistent means for you, find it. If consistent is for you, like Teresa right now, 4 a.m. power hours, Monday through Friday, then that's your consistent. If consistent means for you, Monday looks one way, Tuesday looks another, Wednesday looks another, Thursday you're taking off because your kids are home from school, Friday looks whatever. As long as consistent is you having a plan and you showing up for it as best as you can do, that's consistency. And if what's the last few weeks have taught me is that it's important to understand that. I have such comparisonitis. I look at everybody finishing Morning Meltdown, or I look at people doing a power hour, or I look at this, or I look at that, and I always think to myself, my God, I want to do it all. I always want to do it all. And when I can't do it all, I get paralysis. I get stuck in inaction because I feel like if I can't do it all, I can't do anything. And in the last few weeks, my health in particular has shown me how I need to realize that my all is different every day. And from the very beginning of my business, I've been saying balance looks different on everybody. Redefine balance. I've been saying that to everybody and been doing none of it for myself. When you're talking about consistency, remember that consistency is flux. It's in flux. Consistency is you making progress every day. One day, that's all in. It's a power hour in the morning. It's a power hour at night. It's 17 active stories. It's a poll. It's invites. It's all of the things. And then the next day, consistency is I drank my shake and I got some sleep. And then the next day, consistency is I blitz followed up with everybody because that's what I could do while I was sitting in car line. Consistency is just showing up every day. And once you remember that, it's going to make a big difference. Now, if you have big financial goals or if you have specific targeted income and rank goals, you want to try to dial in a more consistent consistency. But if consistency means showing up in your capacity every day, then that's what you have to do, and that's totally okay. The best thing for us to remember, tip number 8, is that this is not a get-rich-quick scheme. It is not a I tried, I failed, move on. It is a business that grows with time. And if your business isn't growing with time, take a step back and realize you are growing. If you are growing, your business is bound to grow. And if you are growing and your business isn't growing, who cares? Okay, who cares? The whole point, your why, your initial joining here was to solve a problem in your own life. And if you quit on the business, you are quitting on that goal you had for yourself. You're quitting on that original why. So remember, when it gets sucky, when you drop a rank, nobody on this call has dropped more rank than this girl. Okay, nobody. Nobody on this call has had more coaches quit than this girl. Nobody on this call has had a coach for 3 years block her on all social media, except this girl, okay? And I am running this call because I will not quit for myself. I will not quit for you. So promise me that. I'm still here because this matters to me in my life, and helping you guys to get to that spot for yourselves too, and to continue to be in that space because you're all in that space already. That fuels me. I can't quit. No matter if my paycheck's small one week, or no matter if my rank is dropping, or no matter if I don't make it to ranks that I hope I hit, just remember that you are bigger than any of those goals. You are bigger than any quit, and you're showing the world what's possible just because you believe in yourself. So no matter what your paycheck looks like, your rank looks like, you make it on the stage, you don't, there's no reason. Get over yourself. And lastly, I want you to remember that value is everything. Value comes from our posts. It comes from our relationships. It comes from our smile. I have to tell you that what's been really funny for me, a couple of things in the last couple of weeks with how not well I was feeling. I've had so many people message me and say, I wasn't even listening to this, or I had it on mute, but I could tell by your smile that you're not feeling that great. Or when my glasses broke the other day, I got more messages in mourning than I have from any tragedy I've ever experienced in my life, because I'm showing up as me every day. So sometimes we sit there and we're like, how can I make this value driven? You are the value. That freebie that you send out is so valuable. And the recipes we put up are so valuable, and our meal plans are so valuable, but just showing up and being our real selves is valuable. You are valuable. The relationships you develop with your prospects, with your customers, with your potential newbies on Instagram, those are valuable. They believe in what's possible because they see you on there. They see you on there when your tire is flat and you want to yell and curse, but you're in a church parking lot and you won't. They see you on there when you have to do a poop sample and bring it to the doctor, right? They see you on there for all of the things. And because they see you doing all the things, there is value in their lives. You are value. So when you sit there and you can't think of anything to post, introduce yourself again. Share something quirky from your day, because I promise there's value in that. I promise, I promise, I promise. Okay, that's enough of my schmoozy moozy content for today. Everyone with me? I need water. All right, I'm going to share my screen because I want to show you this cool tool. Okay, dog, you can hold on. My dog needs water. All right. This hashtag generator tool. Now, I have not enacted it, but I think it's cool because I want to go through, you can always put in hashtags you're interested in and it'll give you some cool ones. You can go into Instagram and you can put in mom of 3 and then it'll tell you the more common and the less common, and you pick your range between 5,000 and 10,000 posts or whatever it is. But for this hashtag generator, and I will comment when I upload the video of this call, I'll comment with the direct link to this, but it's from influencermarketinghub.com/Instagram-hashtag-generator. Very simple. You upload any photo, and I know these are silly, and it comes up with potentials. This one was pretty basic, but like glass items, that one's a popular one. I would have never. Oh, thank you very much, Instagram, for telling me that. Whatever. It's just kind of silly. But because it comes from a very reputable source, it comes up with the generic noun-like hashtags that you'll see some of the more popular influencers, more positively praised posts putting up there on top of the multi-level marketing popular ones like Fit Mama or whatever it is. So I just thought this was kind of cool. So you can go into your photos. Oh, no, I did the wrong thing. You have to hit the plus sign. You go into your photos. Let's see. I'll put up this picture of me and the girls, and let's see what it comes up with. Open, upload and generate hashtags. And then it gives me, no, it did the same ones. Why did it do the same ones? It's doing the same ones. No, fair weather. It changed it. Indoors, architecture. It's really, glass items must be really popular. Man, is there a man in the picture? I guess there is a man. Anyway, but all you have to do is click on the ones that you like. You hit copy, and then you're able to export that. And I'm pretty sure it works on a phone. I haven't tried it. But I just thought it was neat, as a neat way for us to get started. And then you can use those and expand them however you want to. I thought that was neat. All right, moving along to my last thing. This is where our action items come in, girls. We're going to do some list generating, and then I would love you to make some connections. You can decide on what you have time for tonight because sleep is sacred. So if you could connect with a couple of these people, great. Send invites to a couple, great. But the real goal is to make lists. So we're going to do 2 different list building exercises. The one is to try to find more people to add just to your general niche market. And the second one is going to be 6 weeks of the work promoting. So if you can get a pen and paper ready, I'm going to, as I generate this list, I'm going to make these people the people I'm contacting in the morning when I do my power hour. So that's what I'm going to do because Kellen's still awake and I just know that my invites tonight aren't going to happen. So a couple of categories I want us to think about. I also opened up a few different memory joggers in case I need some more ideas. But the first set of people I want you to think about is I want you to think of your first job. Think of your first job. Where did you work? Who do you remember working with? And don't worry if you end up finding these people on social media or not, but it could just be a fun place to go down that rabbit hole. Your very first job, I'm talking like when you're a teenager. My first job was at Ruby Tuesdays. I was a hostess. And I got fired because my mom wouldn't let me work on Christmas Eve. Ruby Tuesdays. So you can write down some people from there. Even if you're just writing down first names, you're just going to then go into Facebook or Instagram and you're going to type in those first names and see who pops up. So don't worry. Don't judge yourself. Even if you don't find them, it's just going to be a way to expand your market in the long run. I should have thought this through because I'm only remembering guys that worked at Ruby Tuesdays. Not remembering any girls besides my friend Kira because we got the job together. Owner's name was Elva. Aww. I also worked at my dad's golf course. I might put that down. Once you've done that, think about your neighborhood. Think about the neighborhood where you grew up in as a kid. Think about the neighborhood where you first bought a house. If you lived in a neighborhood in college and you haven't already friended all the people from your dorm, you can think about that. Anywhere you've lived neighborhood-wise. I then want you to think about babysitters. Think about babysitters you had as a kid. Think about babysitters your little brother had as a kid. Think about the babysitters you hired for your kids. They might want some extra income, you know what I'm saying? Next, I want you to write down teachers that you love, maybe from when you were a kid. And again, it's okay if you don't find these people. It's okay if they're 80 and retired. I have plenty of retired teachers. But just typing in that name might find some interesting people on Facebook that I might want a friend request. So don't judge yourself for that. I could be like, oh, I was just on a quest to find Mrs. Moskowitz. She was my third grade teacher. You're not her? Great. Do you like Shakeology? No, just kidding. But why not? Mr. Sable. He was cool. I'm going to look for a Mr. Sable. And Mrs. Sable, his wife, taught across the street. They were, or across the hall. They were so cute. Mrs. Carr was my Spanish teacher. We called her Senora Coche. If you know Spanish, you know what I'm talking about. She was the cutest. Senora Coche. Her husband also was a teacher at my school. Mrs. Kenny. She was my freshman English teacher. I'm basically her now. Mrs. Parachuk. And now I want you to think about that girl from growing up that you couldn't stand. Write her down. You're going to send her some love today or tomorrow. Because now I get to teach with mine. So, you know, the world works in wicked ways. You bring them to you first so the universe doesn't just throw them in your classroom. Jackie Sabatka is my other one. If anyone knows her, send my regards. She's always go like, where do your eyes go when you smile?
I just wrote down the girl who smacked me at homecoming dance.
That just reminded me. Lisa Heffron. She punched me in second grade. All right. So now that we've got a weirdo list there, you're just going to use that to list build, to connect the next couple of days. Honestly, I mean it when I say I'm just running out of people to think of. So when I started just looking up people, and I know Teresa does this, she looks for her new customers. Maybe you find them, maybe you don't, but you might find someone else. So let's just get into that comfort zone of we're here to serve people. We're here to give value anyway. So you're not the person. You're 30 years younger than the person I was looking for. Fine. Perfect. I didn't think Mrs. Moskowitz would be on Facebook anyway. All right. Next, we're going to do a quick little brainstorm to get some people ready for the work. I know a lot of you have already invited to that, but it's not something we should ever stop inviting to. And actually, I just thought of something else we're going to do as well. I'll be quick. When is that happening? Okay, here we go. I'm just going to rattle these off real quick, and I want you, anyone you think of, write them down or just write down the categories and come back to them later. But I'm making a page in my notebook for my work prospects, and I'm going to just return to it when I can and keep adding people as I think of them. So I want you to focus on anybody you know who is or was a college athlete. So it could be someone your age. It could be someone your brother or sister's age, but is or was former, present, current, soon-to-be college athletes. D1, D2, D3, it doesn't matter. Male, female, it doesn't matter. Don't judge. I saw the clips from that workout today. Hot damn. The next is, you guessed it, current, former, soon-to-be high school athletes. AKA all the guys Jackie Sabatka dated. Like Jackie, I'm basically thinking of my brother and all his friends. I think everyone's upstairs except for Kellen, and he's just asking Alexa to play all his favorite songs. Because I just heard Nick Jonas Jealous playing. Nick Jonas would like the work.
Message him.
I should. I'll have Kellen do it. Next, I think we said this last week, but I want you to write down any moms of teens. My pen ran out of ink. Moms of teens, moms of teen athletes. Moms who you know's kids are going to those speed schools and stuff we talked about last week. And then I also want you to think of anyone you know who's an athletic trainer. And I don't mean a fitness instructor, but an actual school athletic trainer. Like Deirdre, who came to Super Sunday, she's our athletic trainer at school. And also anyone you know who coaches youth sports, whether it is high school or Pee Wee division. Or maybe, you know Brett Johnson who coaches college, whatever. No judgments. But any athletic coaches. And when you contact these people, I want you to say, there's this amazing program from an NBA trainer. It's unlike anything we've seen. The best part about it is his focus is athletic safety, building muscle and endurance and stamina for athletes with little potential for injury. It would be a great supplement to your home programs that your kids, I'm sure, follow, because I know you're sending them home with things to do in the off season. This could be the perfect complement. And if not, maybe it would just be really good for those days where you're rained out and can't practice outside. And just leave it at that and see what the hell happens. It doesn't hurt. When I was hosting my workout on Thursday, my girlfriend Jess, who usually does the workouts with us in the winter because she coaches field hockey and lacrosse, she calls me And we use her classroom. She's the adapted phys ed teacher. So we use her fitness center as our space. She's like, what time are you guys going to be done? Our practice was just pushed inside because there's lightning in the area. And I want the girls to do T25 whenever you're finished. Like, that's what they do. Because she's, has the account and is the coach under me. Doesn't do anything, but that's that. So just keep that in mind. Those are potential clients of ours that we might not be thinking of often. And I think the work is a perfect starting point. And if the work doesn't work, you let them know all the other elements within Beachbody On Demand that they can utilize. And then because you're Teresa and you're really good at it, you're going to like upsell them on all of their hydrate and stuff. Or say, you get this for your team, I'll throw in some samples of hydrate as a thank you. And the last thing I just want us to do, because I was thinking of this as I was talking, start collecting a list of people who would be interested in bar. Just start paying attention to that. Pay attention to your dance mom friends, because that could be something super cute for them to do with their daughters, right? Start paying attention to people you see who are obviously going to bar classes, who are going to Pilates. Start following Pilates and bar studios in your area and liking those people. Like, let's get that ball rolling, because it's going to be a weird launch, in my opinion, because it's a trainer I love Elise. When I do her yoga, I love her, but she's kind of not a big personality like these others is going to attract on social media the way putting up a picture of Amala would do, or putting up a picture of Jericho and her tiny bottoms. That gets my attention. So I think that we're going to need to have built a culture of inclusiveness in our fitness, and getting those people squared away now, starting to encourage and support them and all that stuff. So look for local bar studios, yoga studios. Like our friend Stephanie is an honor influencer. Start looking at that kind of stuff. Your local Pilates, Jazzercise, those are the kinds of people that are going to be interested in something like this. Hit up your CrossFitters and your athletes for the work, and hit up your dance moms and studio bar people for this one. All right, that's that. It's up to you if you want to keep creating your list, if you have time to do some invites or connections. I always talk much more than I intend to. I apologize. I'm going to stop the recording. Oh, no.